Hello, I'm Sudarshan, a Starshine Star. How are all of you doing? I hope this finds you very well. Today is a beautiful Saturday. It's May 24th and it's 2025. I like to begin all of my clips with the 3 opening prayers in Sanskrit and Telugu, and they are short prayers. It's the Guru Mantra, the Ganesha Mantra, and the Gayatri Mantra. And I do this to bless and protect, uplift, and inspire you, me, and this clip. Om, Om, Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmahi Sri Guruvena Namaha. Om Suklam Bharataram Vishnum Sashivarnam Chatubhujam Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vignopashantaye. Om Bhur Suvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhako Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachotayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Excellent. I have a YouTube channel called It's the Dazzling of the Light, or you can just go to YouTube and type in at Sudarshan, a Starshine Star, to access my, now it's over 200 clips. And I don't do middle of the road, boring topics. It's all pretty hot and juicy stuff. Informative, at least. If it's not that hot, it would be very informative. I put this together last night. I really want to give these kind of little news blurbs, some things that you might not have heard, and I feel it's important to hear. So here we go. And I'm going to call this is going to go into my The Real series. I have different series listed on my YouTube, and this will be the Real series part 5. Now, I just got such a bonanza from Wall Street Apes on X, a blue checkmark account. I like that account, but really, Wall Street Apes just was putting out so many things that I really agree with, and it was like a very good and condensed way to get some things. And this information is out in many other areas, but when I see something that's like I think is a very good representation of what I want to say and put out there, then I will just give credit to the author or the poster if it's on socials, and then share it with you guys. Here we go. The little title of this was Ziploc bags are now involved in a class action lawsuit after being linked to causing dementia. And then there was a doctor named Dr. Clint Steele who was doing a little short video clip on this. So he said, I'm a brain and nervous system specialist, and I help people just like you improve your life by improving brain function, specifically around preventing and in many cases reversing dementia and Alzheimer's disease. For those of you that follow me, I did a video on this not too long ago talking about 750 milligrams of plastic being found in the brains of those that have Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. That's the size of a plastic spoon, folks. So the question is, where are all these plastics coming from? What they're finding here, guys, is this SC Johnson claims that Ziploc bags are safe to use in extreme conditions, meaning for freezing and also for heating in their microwave. Oh my goodness, I have to say. I'm saying this, not Dr. Steele. Now, for any of you that are doing this, guys, and this is one of the reasons I don't do this, because it doesn't make sense to me to put this in the microwave. And I'm going to interrupt this post here and say, it doesn't make sense to me for anyone to use the microwave at all. If you know what microwaves do, I mean, like, why bother to eat food? You might as well just eat plastic. The microwave is just zapping all the nutrition in your food. And I know people say, oh, it's convenient, this and that. If you really look into it, you wouldn't even use a microwave to like heat up water, for something. No, I just, my microwaves are just ghost towns. But anyway, back to this. It's going to melt. It's plastic. It's going to get into my food. That's not good for me. So if you're doing this, you've got to stop. Here's what happens. There's 2 ingredients in this, in these plastic bags called polyethylene and polypropylene that break down and turn into microplastics. These microplastics are so small that they can actually cross the blood-brain barrier. And this is how we're finding plastics in the brain. And once again, I'm going to interrupt and say RFK is talking a lot about microplastics now. This is a subject that really needs to be known, truthfully. And also, while I'm interrupting this post reading, I've talked a lot, several times at least, on my YouTube channel about aluminum. Please never use aluminum. Don't wrap your food in it, don't cover your food in it. Definitely, when you heat up aluminum, that aluminum melts into the food more. And like I've said several times, on 100% of any Alzheimer patient that received an autopsy, a goodly portion of aluminum was always found in the brain. I mean, going that route of dementia, Alzheimer's, that is really, it's just such a harsh way to go, and it's harsh for your loved ones or caretakers. It's like, please let's not do that. Just, there are other things to use other than aluminum, and there are other things to use other than Ziploc bags or plastic. Okay, let's go back to the reading. Get the plastics out of your life as much as you can. And especially this. Please, guys, share this. I'm out to save 1 million lives from dementia and Alzheimer's disease, and I need your help. And we've got to get rid of stuff like this because it's damaging our brains and it's leading to end-stage neurodegenerative diseases. So please share this. I love you. I'm Dr. Clint. Let's save more lives. Thank you, Dr. Clint. I'm with you all the way on that. Now, switching topics. This is David Martin from his video called Forever Sovereign, and I love that title. However, a blue checkmark account on X named Valerie Ann Smith reposted this. It was a little clip of David Martin speaking, but it also had a blurb above it. So I'm going to have to spell a few things here, but this is really important. If you don't know about this, it's really important. Remdesivir was declared too DEADLY and unethical to use in African EBOLA trials because it had a 53% unaliving rate. 53% unaliving rate. Yet it was the only drug Fauci allowed to be used on. Now think of what happened that caused lockdown several years ago, and you can shorten it by using the 3rd letter of the English alphabet and then following that by the number 19 after that. So that's what I'm referring to. Those patients that were in hospitals, that was the only drug that Anthony Fauci allowed to be used on them. Excuse me. Families whose loved ones were unalive by remdesivir call it, in quotation marks, run, death is near. Remdesivir unalives kidney function. Combine that with a ventilator, and the patients develop pulmonary edema, causing their lungs to fill with fluid and drown until they are unalived. Remdesivir unalives the liver and causes organ shutdown. In the halted EBOLA trials, halted, meaning stopped, remdesivir mortality was 53% overall and 85% mortality in those with high viral load. The U.S. government bribed, and this is in all caps, BRIBED, bribed hospitals to administer a kidney and liver toxic DRUG with incentives and huge bonuses. Surprise, surprise. Follow the money, guys. Follow the money. Second to that, follow the ideology. I'm saying this, not Dr. Martin. Here we go. Remdesivir is so lethal, it got nicknamed Run, Death is Near after it started unaliving thousands of those kind of patients that I referred back to that started with the third level of the alphabet and then ended in the number 19 in the hospital. Anthony Fauci claimed that remdesivir would stop that thing that I just said began with the third level of the alphabet, third letter of the alphabet, and ended with the number 19. Instead, it stopped kidney function, then blasted the liver and other organs. What the U.S. government never told you about remdesivir is that by November 2020, even the WHO, the World Health Organization, who we know is so corrupt, so satanic, so dark, but even they said, do not use remdesivir. At least they said that up front. Who knows what they were doing behind the scenes. But instead, HHS added a 20% bonus on the entire hospital if they administered this liver and kidney toxic DRUG. A 20% bonus. That 20% bonus ended up being a big payday. Before taking his role at HHS, RFK Jr. warned the world also. Tony Fauci knew that remdesivir would unalive you. How does it unalive you, he asked? Kidney failure, heart failure, and all-organ collapse. Can you imagine what it feels like to have all-organ collapse? Oh my gosh. All the doctors said, we've never seen such a VI, RUS, that attacks the kidneys. Because it wasn't the VI, RUS, it was the remdesivir. Remdesivir is still being used in hospitals today. Can you believe that? Still being used in hospitals today. All right. Now, changing topics. This is from Mr. Nobody, a blue checkmark account on X. And he subtitled it, They Always Let You Know. And the little title is the WEF, which is World Economic Forum, admits they are behind the LGBTQA plus agenda. And this was a lady from the UN, the United Nations Office of the High Commission for Human Rights. And I've spoken many times before, and I'll say it again. The United Nations needs to be completely dissolved. It was always formed nefariously on land donated by David Rockefeller to make its headquarters in America, in New York City. And it always has been a dark cult, satanic arm of the New World Order. And it has always has a meditation room with a big black rock in it. Yeah, wink, wink. And also a big hanging on the wall about the Lucis Trust, which used to be called the Lucifer Trust until it was changed to something a little more oblique called the Lucis Trust by Alice Bailey. And if you ever went into the United Nations headquarters in New York, you would see that they don't hide things. They put it right in your face, but you just can't connect the dots. Anyway, let me go back to this. So this woman speaking from the United Nations Office of the High Commission for Human Rights, and she's speaking on the WEF, the World Economic Stage, with all their WEF signs printed out behind her. And she says, we work with the news, business, entertainment, faith leaders, sports, governments, and individual activists from around and I'm putting a globe in quotation marks around the quote globe end quote, because we know why they say globe. And if you don't know, you should look into it. Around the globe to ensure and educate public people on LGBTQ issues and move policy forward. Yes, she said, and move policy forward. Whose policy is that? Move policy forward. In the U.S., the Gallup poll this year showed that over 20% of Gen Z are LGBT. We've been running studies ourselves that include the Q and LGBTQ, and we span the age from 18 to 34. And you can see clearly 40% of Gen Zers identify as LGBT. Now, If you didn't hear what I said, listen to it again. They're just letting you know their agenda. And you might ask, well, why is that an agenda? You need to, if you're asking that, I would suggest highly that you research the New World Order agenda. You can also look up at Agenda 2021-2030. You can say it's the globalist plan that's being foiled now by the white hats and the good guys fighting it. The globalist, satanic, dark cult, eugenist plan for the whole entire Earth realm. They wanted to take us down from 7.8 billion down to just 500 million. 500 million of their, and you wonder why this thing is LGBTQ plus A plus, etc. is called an agenda, and their policy that they're working with all these beings, all these groups that I named in order to enforce that, is because it's part of the transhumanism, and that means the satanic one world government, which would be Satanism, New World Order, which would be just a handful of satanic elites, like, at the top of the pyramid, governing over all their chipped, partially inorganic robot slaves that are only part human, part organic mixed with inorganic robotic material, chipped in the brain. So it's super easy just to, command on them. If there's any disobedience, you can nip it right in the bud. And part of that agenda is that they wanted humans to be sterile. They don't want humans to be able to procreate. They want to do, which they already started it a while ago, creating artificial wombs in labs, and just like you saw in the original Matrix movie. You should go see that. That was a documentary, not fiction. And they want to be in charge of that. So they've been propagating that. So that's all part of the, what is a woman, what is a man, I don't know. And being just not able to reproduce, and just really being even more of a slave force for the very small percentage of satanic elites and then their army of minions. But that's been foiled. So, we're still fighting the war. But if you know what the Georgia Guidestones are, you can look that up and see a few years ago that they were knocked down. The white hats, the good guys, just completely knocked down those tablets that were giving the commandments and the orders for how the satanic elites wanted things to go. And it very clearly states that only 500 million people left on the Earth realm. That's it. Down from 7.8 billion. There you go. Okay, so then we go to Wall Street Apes again, blue check mark account on X. And he's saying, holy crap, Democrats laundered so much money before Donald Trump took office. In the 76-day period between Trump winning, and I'm putting Biden in quotes because I call Biden JoJo because that wasn't the actual Joseph Robinette Biden. Once again, go to my YouTube channel and look up the Real or the Controller series, and you'll find out more about that if you don't know. In the 76-day period between Trump winning and, quote, Biden, end quote, leaving office, $93 billion was sent from the DOE, Department of Energy, who gave it away with no oversight to entities with no financials. Senator Kennedy of Senate Appropriations Committee holds a hearing on the FY 2026 budget request. He's talking to there's a video clip of this. He's talking to the DOE, the Department of Energy. He's talking to a representative of that. He says, Senator Kennedy asks, the 76-day period you're talking about, that's the period between the time that President Trump was elected and President Biden left office. How much taxpayer money went out the door of the Department of Energy? And this was a reply from the loan program office in loans and commitments. Excuse me. Let me just backtrack a little bit. I'm going to have to look ahead to tell you exactly who's replying because I noted it. So who Senator Kennedy is talking to in this clip and this investigation is a man called the Honorable Christopher Wright. Okay. So when Senator Kennedy asked how much taxpayer money went out the door of the Department of Energy, from the loan program office in loans and commitments, $93 billion, well over twice as much as went out in the previous 15 years. So Senator Kennedy says, you're telling me that the Department of Energy in the 76-day period before their boss was going to leave office gave over our own money to entities that have no business plan? And the answer, correct. Senator Kennedy, no financials? Answer, correct. And that was Honorable Christopher Wright replying there. I don't think after Doge findings that this is a surprise to anyone. It's just endless discoveries of corruption. Oof. Again from Wall Street Apes on X. He's giving some examples here. There was an illegal migrant with a criminal record that was driving 100 miles per hour. He was drunk and he was high. He did not have his lights on at all at night. And he drove right into American trooper Christopher Gadd, spelled G-A-D-D, unaliving him instantly in his police car. And I'm going to show on this clip, the Real Series Part 5, I'm going to put the photo of American trooper Christopher Gadd's police car, what it looked like immediately after this illegal immigrant unalived him. That's what you're going to see in the screenshot. That's what that is. So then there was an attorney in Seattle, Washington. It's a man that's pretending to be a female and not doing a very good job of it. But this man, pretending to be a female, who's a Seattle, Washington attorney, was defending that illegal criminal on trial. And that attorney proclaims boldly, it is not a crime. Insane. It is not a crime. So then Doge, i.e. a blue checkmark account on X, replied, this tragedy is a direct result of Biden's open border catastrophe. An illegal migrant with a history of arrests, domestic violence, drug charges was allowed to roam free, leading to Trooper Gadd's unaliving. The Laken-Riley Act, Section 2, mandates detention for criminal illegal aliens, but weak enforcement lets unalivers, otherwise known as the beings that unalive people, slip through. Seattle's sanctuary policies and D.C.'s refusal to secure the border prioritize illegal immigrants over American lives. Every preventable unaliving like this is a stain on Biden's failed leadership. Time to defund sanctuary cities, enforce existing laws, and put Americans first. And then from Free Plane, blue checkmark account on X, also replied, if that's not a crime, then all drunk drivers that unalive people should be let out of prisons, paid restitution for wrongful imprisonment, and given their licenses back, because DUI, driving under the influence, is a, quote, non-crime, end quote, per Seattle. This is insane. And Free Plane typed, this is insane in all caps, and I agree. Times a billion. Wall Street Apes on X also said, Democrats demand due process for these illegals. 6 illegals involved in the unaliving of a 40-year-old mother who was SHOT to unaliving earlier this month during a robbery. And however, her body was not found until last week inside her car. Today, authorities released new details in this case, revealing the suspects pulled up near Thompson's car, the mother, then opened fire, unaliving her. Then her car came to a stop in the road. And then the suspects tried to rob her, but the car doors were locked. Her family is now demanding justice. Authorities have stated that all 6 suspects are undocumented immigrants, illegal, from Honduras. Wall Street Apes on X also said this about putting this into the conversation. 24-year-old Venezuelan illegal immigrant got a social security card, birth certificate, and registered for school as a 16-year-old. This 24-year-old illegal had a baby with an underage 16-year-old. He broke up with that girl to date another underage junior in high school. The 16-year-old girl was upset and decided to tell his caregivers, because the people that adopted him, his story was that he was homeless teenager. So they took him in. Decided to tell his caregivers, the people that adopted this man, that he was lying about his identity. Therefore, the school looked into this to then find out said 16-year-old was actually a 24-year-old Venezuelan man. So to all you people who are rooting for the freedom of illegal immigration, this is what you're rooting for? How did he get the Social Security card and birth certificate? I bet he voted too. And we know as per Doge, that it was massive illegal aliens got security cards and voting cards and voted. We already know that. And that is being cleaned up. Thank goodness. So what I'm going to say about why I'm even saying these are just a few examples. This is to go out, and this is all provable. You can look into it for yourself if you're hearing this and you never heard it before and you're like, let me look into that. It's all provable. It's not hearsay. It's not conspiracy. This is massive. What happens when you allow people into one's country that were never vetted, and you don't have any idea what they're doing, why they're here. And also, I'm saying this very wryly, but it really doesn't help when you have your own country that's treacherous and traitorous to the rest of your countrymen and women, in that they're using taxpayer funds to give thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, not only in prepaid Visa cards and cash and housing vouchers, and they get put up for 1 to 2 years in not just regular motels, hotel, motel, but luxury 4 and 5 star hotels for 1 to 2 years. And I mean, it's beyond. It's beyond belief what has gone on, but it's getting cleaned up. A lot more needs to happen, but this just can't go on any longer, and neither can people's ignorance about it. Wall Street Apes also on X said, people have reached a breaking point after Elon Musk's Doge discoveries. Now, this is a woman who's talking on a little clip. She is supposedly, I guess her interviewer is at Kevin.Rink, spelled Rinke, but she's talking in a little clip here that Wall Street Apes is showing. No more. We're done with government. Look at what President Trump is showing us. If there's that much, if there's trillions of dollars of waste at the federal level, there's billions of dollars of waste at the state level. There's millions of dollars of waste at the county level, and there's hundreds of thousands of dollars of waste at the township level. And people are done. People are sick of it. They're done. Well, there's a breaking point. There's a breaking point. We've reached it. Wall Street Apes again is saying, titling a little post here, Conspiracy Theorists Are Right Again. Harmeet Dillon, and that's spelled Harmeet. Dillon is spelled Dhillon. Harmeet Dillon, head of the Civil Rights Division at Department of Justice, confirms the DOJ, Department of Justice, has operated, confirms the DOJ has operated, however they wanted, I'm reading this so incorrectly. Okay, let me just rewind and do this again. Okay, here we go. Harmeet Dillon, head of the Civil Rights Divisions at Department of Justice, confirms the DOJ has operated however they wanted, no matter who's president. Quote, they're immune from democracy, end quote. Elections just had no bearing. Tucker Carlson said they thought that this part of the Department of Justice was just immune to democracy. Harmeet Dillon, it has been. Elections just had no bearing on this. And even though they're saying democracy, it's important to know that my country, the true United States for America, is a constitutional republic, not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. So after Harmeet Dillon says, it has been, elections just had no bearing on this. And then Tucker Carlson says, So that's the definition of the deep state, what you've just described. We do not get what we vote for. We do not get what our taxes fund. The deep state runs the show, and it does whatever they want. And this is on Tucker Carlson Network. Harmeet, this is the president's agenda. These are his executive orders that he's put out. They're about anti-discrimination, anti-DEI, which I'm sure you must know is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I have to interrupt this and say, note, just because diversity, equity, and inclusion are nice-sounding words, it's a very ugly, racist, Marxist, dark cult agenda. You can call, anything ugly a nice-sounding name and pretend that it's that, but that doesn't mean it's true. And boy, the leftist Marxists have a wonderful knack via the Democrats of calling really corrupt, really dark, really satanic, really pedophilic, really nightmarish things under these sunny sounding titles. Yeah, they're very tricky that way. Enforcing our laws equally. And that's the job. This catalyzed hundreds of lawyers to quit the Civil Rights Division. Tucker, wait, they quit because you informed them of the law? Harmeet, yes. Tucker, they thought that this part of the Department of Justice was just immune to democracy? Harmeet, it has been. Tucker, like elections just had no bearing on this? Harmeet, it has been. Tucker, so that's the definition of the deep state, what you just described. Harmeet, it really is. Tucker, elections here have no effect. That's the problem right there. Harmeet, well, that's what I found in response to my memos. Of course, they began leaking to the press. They began having unhappy hours, in which they would invite supervisors, political supervisors to make the point that they were unhappy. We got the point. They had crying sessions, struggle sessions, crying sessions in the DOJ, Department of Justice. Tucker, they cried? Harmeet, oh, there was open crying in the halls. Tucker, crying? Harmeet, crying, yes. And then one of my colleagues described to me, it was the last day, a couple of weeks ago, for some of them, they lined up in a phalanx. Okay? I'm saying, okay? Approached the elevator together. And then they left the building together. She laughs. To show their solidarity for one another, as if they were persecuted. Tucker, how old are they? High school students or... Harmeet, no. These are 30, 40, and 50 year-old career attorneys in the Department of Justice. Yeah, she says. Tucker, it's pathetic. Wall Street Apes again on X put something, the craziest things that are continuing to happen in New York, in Colorado, in California, Oregon, Washington. These are some of the worst blue state areas. So Wall Street Apes put up about Washington State Governor. He said, Washington State Governor Bob Ferguson just signed a bill to raise the outdoor parks pass 50%. However, if the homeless want to live there in tents, run fentanyl labs, or use the area as their personal dumpsters, that's all still fine. So someone called OG Mama Swan, SWANN, was talking and addressing this in a little clip. And she said that you buy this Discovery Pass in Washington State. She said you buy it and then you just hang it in your car and it says that you paid the money so that you can go enjoy the park that you already pay taxes on. Make it make sense. Anyway, so far families that like to enjoy camping and fishing and boating and whatnot, it's now going to cost you more money to do, those outdoor activities. Now, however, if you are a fentanyl aficionado and you want to set up your questionable meth lab / camper in front of a school or at a city park or on the streets of the cities in the state of Washington, including using those areas as your personal dumpster and toilet, you can do that. Yeah, no problem. You can do all of that. So I'm putting in a little side note here. By the way, this Governor Bob Ferguson just passed the highest taxes ever in Washington State, along with communist playbook lifted directly from 1950s Mao, that parents have no rights to know or even see any of their own children's medical or HEALTH records. They can't even see them. Schools are allowed to keep two sets of records, one that is shown to parents, and the true one is kept hidden from the parents. Yeah, 11-year-olds are allowed to get ABORTIONS with absolutely no parental knowledge at all. At all. Forget permission. You don't have to notify at all, and you're 11 years old. Kids are allowed to have their body parts removed, and I mean, especially lower carriage body parts, I think you know what I'm talking about, and be put on life-altering, very expensive hormones of the opposite sex, and all of this cannot be contested by parents. The parents can be arrested for child abuse if they even, what's called misgender their kids, or call their kids by their birth names, or refer to them, if it's a biological girl, say her or she, when that said child is saying, no, I want to be the opposite of that. You have to call me he, him. Parents in Washington State, was already passed, will be arrested for child abuse, and a handy-dandy little thing by CPS, Child Protective Services. CPS will come and remove the kids from the parents' home, and that's permanently, put them in the system. And if you don't know about CPS, once again, look into it. I know there are well-meaning people in the Child Protective Services. There's always goodly and godly and well-meaning people everywhere. However, in a huge way, CPS has been very corrupted and very much a part of child sex trafficking. When you put the kids in the system, in the foster homes, or they're just unaccounted for, and it's been shown massively. You can look into it for yourself. Don't use Google, don't use Wikipedia, use Bing Brave browser, and you can look on many sites and see films, documents, whistleblower testimonies, witness accountings, everything. It's very true. So once a child disappears into that system, it is so iffy. And here's just another handy-dandy way just to come over and remove all the kids from their home and take them away from parents, just because you're calling it child abuse because the parents are calling their children by their birth names, or saying he, she in a way that the kids are saying, don't call me he, she. Okay. So, and of course the parents, though, still have to pay, like keeping all these records secret from the parents. They don't even know what's going on, but they will still get the bill. They'll still have the bill for all these operations and all these hormones and everything else they have to pay, but they don't get to know anything about it. Yeah, make that make sense. It's completely upside down world. So there's a lot of good going on. So much good. But I have to give these little points out because the mainstream media, which is fighting for its life, is just off the charts. I mean, they're just going so crazy with their lies and with their really upside down propaganda, saying so many things that I have to give out a few pointers here to kind of help to pop that bubble. Because I think it's necessary. Thank you for being here with me. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Why not join my YouTube channel or hit the notification bell? Thank you. I really appreciate you. I close all of my clips with the closing prayer in Sanskrit and Telugu. And what I'm saying is, God bless all beings in all worlds. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om shanti shanti shanti. Peace, peace, peace to all of you. God bless you all. I'm sending you and yours all my love and big hugs. God bless you and yours. And long live this beautiful republic. I'll see you when I see you, and bye-bye for now.